What it do, people? Happy holidays for everybody that's here and checking us out, man. You know who it is. It's Saturday. It's Saturday afternoon. It is what is 1-ish, 1:30-ish, 1:40-ish. And you know what that means. That means it's Uncle Fred and it's TK. Look at I got him. I got him on the left side this time, not the right side. I just be moving him around. I just place
Yeah,
him
yeah,
where
yeah.
I just wind him up, put him there. He just do his thing, man. I just sit back and watch him. Um, yeah, I got TK with me. That means we're doing our week 16 pick'em show, man. TK, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. We've had an interesting pre-show. It got me real charged up for the pick'ems this week. I know you kept tabs, and we did a pretty good job last week, man. So trying to equal that benchmark or better. That's where I'm at. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And he alluded to it. We're gonna get right into our pick'em show. It's a game right on as we speak, and I'm gonna pick it, even though whatever. And they said it's anybody's game right now, but he spoke of it. But yeah, y'all, I gotta find a way to maybe sort of capture those pre-shows because sometimes, man, the content on them pre-show be fire, man. It be fire, and so that's like, dang, cause we be covering topics like NBA, the movements of the NBA and stuff, and the stuff, the new NBA All Star Game format and stuff that they're doing, and reaction from the player. We talked about Travis Hunter winning the Heisman and the all of the soap opera that's going around him and that. And we got opinions on a lot of things, man. It ain't just NFL. We just talk about NFL, but boy, we got knowledge and some other insight on some other things and some of that stuff, man. We may have to get it on print, man, because there's some good stuff, man. So you might want to call us low budget Unc and Ocho, man. We can do that. We can do that, man. We can do that, man. I ain't no
Yeah,
Hall of Fame player, but I know a couple of things, So, yeah. But anyway, man,
absolutely.
enough about that. We're gonna talk about the games this week, and I just want to let y'all know, man. And did I put my? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay. Uh, your boy and TK, we did good last week, man. My boy, we did good. We both 13-3 on 16 game picks. Now I got a little box over here that's got an
Okay.
applause in it. Now once I get it out, I'm gonna incorporate that into our thing when somebody makes a good point.
Yeah,
I'm gonna all those things
yeah,
are coming, man. I just got to figure out how to hook it all up and put it all together. But yeah, we both did 13-3.
yeah.
We both missed on a game that the other one hit on, and we all the other games we were
Okay.
both on. I missed on Detroit and uh, Buffalo, which that was a good game. I thought Dan Campbell made a couple of. Man, you want to kick an onside kick at 12 minutes to go, man, with down 10. I know you having a problem stopping them, but oh no, he might want to have that one back. But I know you do what you had to do. Because Josh was on his was in his bag Sunday, so I definitely get it. I definitely get it. And that
Mhm.
game went 48-46, 48-42 or something like that. Back to back 44 games. And then I hit on Green Bay and Seattle. I've been liking Green Bay. It's just they can't seem to beat Detroit, but they seem to whoop everybody else. Um, and so we
Yeah.
missed. He missed on that one, but we got all the other ones. We pretty much agreed on everybody else and stuff. So we both went 13-3. So let's look forward to some good games this week, and we'll see what's going on. So, without much further ado, man, let's
Yeah.
get at it, man. Let's get at it. All right, on our first
Yeah.
game, we got a game
Yeah.
that's on right now that started at noon. I mean, it's a good game too. It's coming on NBC / Peacock. If you got that, I'm sure you may have, all those things. It's all these streaming options are available now. You got Peacock Plus, you get it, but NBC is a network, so you can a local network, so you can get that. But you got the Houston Texans going up to what they call Jihad Stadium in Kansas City, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Texans coming off
Okay.
that I didn't have them winning last week against the Miami Dolphins. I thought the Dolphins would come in there and get them. It's indoors on that fast track. Tyreek And I think Tua went to Tyreek too many times on Stingley, and it got burnt, and they weren't able to come away with the win on that one. So the Texans come in, they've been struggling a little bit. They lost a couple of games in a row, and they came in. I think they come in 8-5, and they won that. And they're 9-5, and they're playing Kansas City, which is 13-1. But Kansas City's 13-1 looks funny because Mahomes got one of them crazy high ankle sprains on kind of one of those weird tackles where you kind of get twisted with your feet in the ground, and it's you know. Uh, so this is an interesting one, man. So you got if you look at the all of the prognostication here. Here we go. I gotta find it. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. It's got the Chiefs by 3.5. Now, my only caveat is I think the Texans have enough talent to really make the Chiefs work. My problem is I think a lot of times I think the teams that play in what I call controlled environments sometimes have problems playing outdoors in the elements, especially as it gets closest to the end of the year when it's like sub 30-degree temperatures and you got ice and I don't know if you got ice, but you got wind, you got all this kind of stuff going. So I think that's going to play a factor. Can't because like I say, you got a sort of a Kansas City with Mahomes sort of compromised a little bit. Let me look at the injury report. I got it pulled up over here. I could share it on my screen. I do know how to do that now. Yeah, your boy was having to learn some things that I didn't know how to do.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not. I'm just gonna pull it up so I can see it. Um,
Okay.
yeah, here it is right here. Texans. See here, John Mechie is out, and that's kind of hurt at wide receiver. I don't see nobody else here on their behalf, and then of course you see the Chiefs. Humphreys. I think he's a tackle. I don't really see any guy, but they don't even have Mahomes on the thing, and I know he is playing. So I'm just gonna go Chiefs, just because they're playing at I'm just gonna say Arrowhead because that's all only way I know it is. They're playing there in the elements. I know it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be that December hawk is gonna be and them indoor teams don't know nothing about that stuff, man. I'm gonna go with Kansas City, but I guarantee that's gonna be a tight game, a good close game, and the Texans gonna give them a run for their money. But I'm gonna go with the Chiefs on that and Mahomes. And the league didn't do them no favors because they got like 3 games in like 9 days or some crap like that. They play again on Wednesday on Christmas. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Go ahead, TK, man. Go cook, man. Go cook. Cook us up something good, man.
Well, I got patting the Chiefs off the top, but um, I guess this is one of those games I've been saying, and although I did pick against the Texans, they got
Yeah.
it done. It still wasn't like a signature CJ Stroud moment for me.
Defense. Yeah.
Uh, a lot of defense, and he made enough plays. He did enough to win. That's fine. But this is kind of the game where I would circle for sure and say, well, if CJ can go get this one in air, and not Arrowhead anymore. So excuse me, but or is it
It's
Arrowhead?
it's it's Jihad at Arrowhead Stadium. Jihad. Jihad
So
is.
I'll call it Arrowhead and get the Stroud going and getting one in Arrowhead against that guy. That matters. So um, I know the game's going on right now. From what you say, it's a close one. I'm
No.
not watching. Um, I'd say, you know, the Chiefs are going to drop one, in my opinion, between this one and Wednesday, just because, Pat's injury, the schedule, not doing them any favors, forcing the Chiefs into those primetime slots. I think the war attrition has to win out in one of these games, just from the physical nature of the sport, how demanding it is. Don't know if it's this one because they're playing at home, and the Texans are out of their normal elements as far as weather conditions. But I would say, I mean, if you're a Texans person or a CJ Stroud person, you really want to see, him go get the big one in this one. So um, I don't see it happening. Hopefully, it's a great game going on right now. I'm gonna check it out when I can. And I say Chiefs voodoo, man, somehow, some way. And then we get to Wednesday, and I don't know because I got a different perspective on the Wednesday game. But as far as this one, I'll take the Chiefs.
Okay.
Also, I know you're watching Hollywood Brown supposed to make his
Mm-hmm.
return. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's great. So getting that, so in the past couple of weeks they've gotten back Pacheco and Hollywood Brown right in time for their playoff stretch. So I'm sure the rest of the league,
Yeah.
sure the rest of the league felt a certain way. They weren't able to manage to beat this team more than once while those guys
Right.
were out. So um, Chiefs, man, they're working on a
Yeah.
dynasty,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. They definitely are.
It's gonna be hard for me to pick against them on a week to week basis unless there's real merit. So
Yeah.
in this one, I think we'd have to see the best CJ Stroud. I don't know if it happens, so I'll just take Kansas City in a close one.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, man. We didn't. I failed to mention that Hollywood Brown is back because, like I said, I was watching the injury report last week, and Hollywood Brown was nowhere to be found all season. He shows up. Hollywood Brown out. Wait a minute. That
Yeah.
means out. That means like, oh,
Mhm.
that means usually when it means out, that means they practiced and maybe not didn't practice full this week, or maybe just did. And I'm like, whoa, he even with the team? Was he even? Oh, so that means he done been elevated. And you see that? Maybe he gonna play.
Yeah. You
So I was
never know.
following the tea leaves. I
Yeah.
say, okay, Marquise Brown might be back ready to play. That shoulder actually done better healing than you thought. So and that's so now, like I said before, like I said last week, now Mahomes will have Hollywood Brown, he'll have Worthy, he'll have D Hop, and he'll have Smith Schuster. With Pat, that's enough. That's that. Yeah, and then of
Oh
course you
yeah.
also always got Kelsey, and you got Pacheco and Hunt in the backfield. Yeah, that's enough for Pat. That's enough. That's enough. So yeah, good luck stopping them now. And now the only thing I think is gives it a little bit of like that makes it fair now. That Pat got a little boo boo now with the ankle. So that's yeah, we got to watch that because all these regularity of games when he needs to be kind of resting, it's gonna make it where they may drop one here. So
I mean, I'm gonna need to see it having an impact on them before I. Otherwise, I'm gonna assume Chiefs voodoo, unless I see it affecting them. Because to me, man, with the additions of D Hop and Kareem Hunt in the meantime, now you get your guys back and you still have those guys, and now it's a depth thing and it's a spread the field
yeah,
out thing, and just once again, Chiefs team is going to be real hard to beat, come January. So
and I don't mention it as much. I mentioned it. I didn't mention it as much then, but then you got, like I said, I always give Andy Reid a lot of credit, a lot of like kudos because I just think he's probably the most creative dude calling plays in the league at his 64, 65-year-old self, which is weird. The young dude's supposed to be doing all that stuff with the razzle dazzle, all the stuff like that. And he's just supposed to be just running the ball and playing field positioning and kicking field goals. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And
yeah,
Andy be drawing them
yeah,
plays up in the dirt. Hey, why don't you try this over here? And yeah, shoot, man, you get that dude this kind of material. Yeah, it's gonna be hard beating them, man, when the game start to matter. It just is. Um, so
yeah.
anyway, let's go on to the next game. We both got the Chiefs in that game. Probably is going to be a real good game. It is a good game. I'm going to say that. I'm not going to tell you any more about it. It is a good game. Anyway, so and then you got a game. Did I not put it on there? I did not. I must have. Yeah, I think it erased it. But we got another game this evening uh,
Big
at
one.
3. And it's the
Yeah.
Baltimore. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Now, about 3 weeks ago, they played, and
Mhm.
that's a game we split on because I know usually Baltimore. I mean, they'll score 40 points against everybody else, but somehow, man, it's hard for them to chuck out points against the Steelers. It's almost like they're in the same division and understand each other. Oh yeah, that's right. They are in the same division. That's dang. I don't know how I forgot. Didn't even factor that in. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that not Mike McCarthy. No, that's our coach. Mike Tomlin said is basically like Lamar. He's almost looking at Lamar like Jordan. It's like, yeah, we Detroit. We got Jordan rules for Lamar. We know where his spots
Mhm.
are. We know what he likes to do. We know when he drifts here, he likes to do this. We know if he drifts right, he likes to do this. We know what his moves in the pocket where he slips between these guys and busts down the field for 30 yards. We know all that stuff. Other teams still trying to figure that out. We see
Mhm.
that all the time. We see that every week. So we not enamored by that. So that's why Lamar has like humanistic stats against the Steelers. But then he'll go somewhere else and he'll like a game last week when he torched the Johnson, he had more touchdowns than he had incomplete passes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he had 5 touchdown
Yeah.
passes and was 21 or 24 throwing it. What are we doing,
Yeah.
man? So when you see them play the Steelers, it's more of like a game where it's going to be just a battle of attrition. They just both going to be just battling. It's always a lot of hitting. There's a lot of good defense, a lot of good defensive plays, and it'll be a good offensive play here and there. And I look for it like a 17-13 game, something like that. And I think
Mhm.
Baltimore wins this one because they're playing at home. And they always kind of do this. Pittsburgh will win a tight one in whatever they call it. It used to be Heinz Field. I don't know what they call it now. They'll win a tight one there. And then Baltimore return the favor a few weeks later. And, they'll win it 17-13. So I'm going to go with Baltimore to win this one. But it's going to be hidden. It's going to be, good defensive plays, a lot of tackling, a lot of blocking. And yeah, I don't look for a lot of offensive fireworks in this game. I got Baltimore.
Okay. For all those reasons and one more, is Baltimore. George Pickens is out once again. Um, Deshaun Elliott is out as well. Just checked. Two very important pieces. The Ravens have to have this one. The Steelers already beat them. So this game essentially could decide the division today. And the Ravens are at home. The Steelers don't have their best player, or at least their best player on offense. Um, and in this scenario, man, despite the fact that I think they got to win it ugly for all the reasons you said, Steelers have they got the book on Lamar. They got Lamar rules, and they implement them every time. Um, so for all those reasons, I think it's a close game. I'll go with the score you gave, and maybe like a 20-13 type of thing. It's close games, a little low scoring. Possessions really matter, type of thing. And I'm gonna give a nod to Lamar. I think if necessary, they can go that extra mile and put up more production and points on the board than what the Steelers' output could be, just because of their limitations due to not having George Pickens. I think the Ravens do their best to sort of control the tempo, try to get some things going for themselves that can just dominate the line of scrimmage, neutralize TJ Watt by way of, not putting Lamar in positions where TJ Watt can wreak havoc, run the ball away from him, try to, create stunts and things and put them in position to move the ball effectively in other ways. So that's the challenge for them. It's always a challenge for them playing against the Steelers in the division. But such a big game, such huge implications, and Steelers not being totally outfitted with their best players. I just think the Ravens for sure get this one done. Um, but not in a fashionable way, in a very rugged, ugly way. I think they get it done.
Okay. So I was up there fiddling around, man. I was trying to show you that me doing what I was trying to do.
I see.
Fiddling
Yeah,
around with some stuff, man. Trying to um, yeah, here we go. Where are we? Yeah, here we go. Right here. Da-da-da-da. All right, so here goes the injury report right there. I don't know if you can see that over there. Steelers obviously in his hamstring was out. That's 2 weeks in a row. Justin Fields, which I mean, he's got an abdomen. He's not. I don't know if he's out. Is that out? It doesn't say. Uh,
yeah,
I
he's
think
out.
that's
He's out as well.
questionable.
Yeah,
They're all questionable because they try to run a lot of packages with Justin Fields, which I mean I'm cool with that. Um, you know. Um, you did mention Deshaun Elliott. Yeah, that's kind of big. He's questionable. Jackson is that cornerback. That's the cornerback they got from the Panthers. It's the Deontay Johnson trade, which is interesting because now that I mentioned that, Deontay Johnson has been waived. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, he got waived, in which that was we all been saying before that wasn't a we didn't think that was a good place landing spot for him. See, Jalen Armour, Deontay Johnson, personal. Yeah, he. I don't know when this came out, but I got that they waived him like the other day. Um, so anyway, so let's see here. Let me go back to here. Scroll it down a little bit. Uh, Jason Aguilar is out big. Rashawn Bateman is questionable. Um, so, okay, you got Jalen Armour Davis, uh, hamstring out, and of course you got Deontay Johnson not on the team anymore. And you got Nelson Aguilar. All those dudes are out, and so they're not coming in with a whole lot of. Uh, let me go back to. All right, now I'm back. All right. So they don't have a lot of. There's some injuries there. That's gonna make it a kind of even because they're both missing guys, and that's gonna be basically like we said. We both got Baltimore in a kind of like a real tight tug of war, man. That's what it's gonna be, and and that's what you expect when you see Steelers Ravens game. That's kind of what sells that rivalry. They don't like each other, but they got a big deal of respect for each other. So that's what you always get when you see those two teams play each other. So anyway, so we both got the Ravens winning a tight one. Okay. All right. For Sunday noon games, we're gonna start. Okay. Sunday noon games. Okay. This one's sort of a weird one. This one's going to be an interesting one for me to pick. You got the Los Angeles Rams traveling to MetLife Stadium to take on the Jets. Jets coming off of the victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars last week, late. And this is one of them scenarios where I always say, now I think, for my opinion, I think the Rams are a much better team. The Rams are playing probably some of the better ball in the NFC right now. They've gotten a lot of their players back on the offensive line. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are probably one of the better pairs of receivers in the league. And how they work together and how McVay uses and utilizes them and the kind of routing systems that they put together. Kyron Williams is one of the more underrated running backs in the league. He's got about 1,100 yards in the season already, and about 8-9 touchdowns. They're playing some good football right now. They've knocked off the Bills and the who did they knock off the week before that? They've beaten the 49ers in back-to-back weeks and didn't even give up a touchdown to the 49ers. I know the 49ers aren't what they were I get that. I get all that. That's not lost on me right now. But uh, and then defensively, they're kind of coming along with some new guys along the defensive line. They're doing okay. But we got that scenario with West Coast traveling the East Coast at 12 o'clock. That's a thing, and that sometimes evens the playing field between teams that's really not on the same level from a talent perspective. If you understand me, what I'm trying to say here. Rams are favored by like 3, and so I'm tempted to pick the Rams because I think they're the better team, and I think they got sights on playing in the postseason, and there's some games they got to play and win. And I know they got to play Seattle. I don't know if they got to play them twice. They're already beating the 49ers twice. So I know they got bigger fish to fry, if you let me say it like that. Um, the Jets are coming off of kind of an impressive win, man. Devontae Adams, what do you have, like 8 for like 198 or something like that, and 2-3 touchdowns? That's
Mm-hmm.
that's Devontae Adams we've been waiting on. Like that. That's when they came over from the Raiders. That's what we was hoping to see. We ain't see that though. I'm gonna go with the Rams, but man, I would not be surprised if the Jets upset them because it's like I think they may feel some stuff, and really they should be trying to lose games so they can, but because they don't have no coach, so that who you gonna fire? GM is firing, the coach is fired. I mean, you could lose. What's the downside, right? But anyway, I got the Rams, but I don't. It should be close and interesting. What you got? What you got, TK?
Yeah. So the interesting layer here is that, to the point you're making, they'd be incentivized to lose in terms of,
Yeah.
you know draft positioning or potential outlooks in that area. But ironically, they're a team that no longer has a sitting coach that is going to be fired, or a sitting GM is going to be fired. They took care of that already. So they're a team that actually has the talent to compete, but not the record to compete. So record wise, you look at them and say,
Bar, right?
oh,
That's a bar right there, man.
well, you would look at them and say, from a talent standpoint, you could argue they have just as much, if not more, talent on their
Right.
roster from a totality standpoint. But record wise, the Rams are looking to put themselves in pole position to win their division. So they have a lot to play for. And this is the type of game that, to your point that you made as well, with bigger fish to fry in their division still left on their schedule, this is
Right.
the game. You need to go to New York. You need to get this win. You need to put yourself in a great
Go up
position.
there and wet the bed. You're right.
So the Rams are really playing for something, but the Jets are kind of playing for something because it's this team that they have, for the most part, is going to be their team next year.
Okay.
So it's like it's not like there's going to be a total roster overhaul. Aaron Rodgers is probably coming back. Uh, all of your best players will be back as well. So it's like,
Time out, man. How you feel about that, man? I like your perspective on that. How you feel about that? Because I know you
yeah,
kind of an Aaron guy. So how you feel about that?
yeah, I love Aaron Rodgers at his best. In his prime, his talent was just tremendous. He's not that anymore, but I mean, if he still wants to play, and they're able to continue to fit talent around him, um, it becomes a point where you can't be in your own way either. So, I think his what appears to be his personal disdain for media and how media operates. Look, man, I'm sure he's more on the forefront about it, but I don't doubt that the majority of his peers feel the same and just aren't as open about expressing how they really feel about all of that. So, because of that, he becomes he's easy pickings for media people. So, if you're into all that and you watch all of that stuff, and yeah, those people will paint a terrible perception of Aaron, and he'll return the favor. So when you got guys that love to go at the media, they're not going to have the best public perception. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes to football, he's not his best self, which he shouldn't be at 40.
Right.
But if he can, if he can, at some point, also, I think LeBron's there. Granted, LeBron's on a tier above in his particular craft than Aaron.
Right. Right.
It gets to a point where it's like, well, if the guy if he's gonna come back and play, it just is what it is, man. It's like that's what he wants to do. It is what it is. Whether you like it or not, it's happening. And some would say they've earned that cachet.
Right.
I wouldn't agree or disagree. I would just say, it's going to happen. So I think he does return, puts them in a position to say, hey, let's work on what we want to be early in the offseason. We didn't have Devontae Adams in house at this time last year. We will this year. So, let's just try to put this thing together and just make it a respectable thing next year. Learn from this, put some leadership in place that can effectively, take charge and gain the respect of a vet like Aaron Rodgers, and just rally. I think you just have to have a rally mentality as an organization, and that's their best hope to me as far as their future prospects. As far as tomorrow, I think they're fully capable of winning this game because they do have plenty of talent, and they, if they can, manage to put four quarters of effort together the way they were last week, then I don't see why not. But I would just say the Rams have so much to play for. You don't want to. This is not the game you want to lose right now. So um, I would have to think the Jets make it. The Jets make them work for it, and the Rams ultimately come out with the victory. It's kind of like the best scenario for both sides. Jets just want to keep fighting, keep showing that they can stay together, band together as a unit of peers. Who does have a incubate coach who likely won't be the leader of their team next year. So kind of just in a situation where you're veterans and you try to play for each other and build some good camaraderie for the challenge of what next season will bring. So um, to that point, I think that leads the charge for the Jets and makes it a close game. And in the end, the Rams have a vet that's been there, done that as well. So I think Stafford put him in a position where he can go get it done. He's been in LA for a couple of years, but as you know, he was a Detroit Lions quarterback for years. So when he wasn't in Ford Field, he was subject to weather conditions that
Correct.
you know
Correct.
that he's
And
had to adjust to in his career.
and you got to factor in too, like a lot of times when you got these West Coast teams that have these wide receivers that probably ain't played in cold weather, but you factor in, Cooper Cup played at what, Eastern Washington, and I think Puka Nakua played in Cooper Cup played in Eastern Washington. I think Puka Nakua played at BYU or something. So I mean, they probably played in some places where it wasn't inside in the carpet on the carpet and that sort of thing. But yeah, I look at things like that as well. And so I think that has um, a bearing on it. That they're used to the elements in so many respects. Um, so yeah. So we both got the Rams, but it should be a good game for the reasons that we had just identified, man. So let's move on ahead here to a divisional game, um, noon on Sunday. So it's everything back to normal now with these two Saturday games. Of course, that game's coming on. That's Ravens Steelers game's coming on Fox at like at 3:30. So in about an hour, you'll be seeing that one. Okay, Sunday noon. First game we got. Well, actually, that was the yeah. What am I saying here? Yeah, I'm off here. Second game here on Sunday. Okay. We got a divisional game. You got the Eagles going to DC. We're actually going to Maryland, it's in Landover, Maryland, whatever. Uh, Playing the Commanders. It's a division game. I think the Eagles have really separated themselves. Right now, if I had to pick it, I don't want to say it because you know me. I'm just like Micah when it comes to Eagles. I say the same thing he say. I don't know if y'all heard what he was saying on that. Maybe not.
I
Nobody know.
haven't. I'm sure is I can imagine what we said.
Basically, it's the same thing you say about Boston. It's the same thing. Yeah,
Oh
it's the
well, yeah, of course,
yeah, yeah. Buck Foster. It's the same. It's the same
absolutely.
thing. It's just insert Philly in there, and it's the same thing. It's yeah, I'm the
Yeah,
same way. I'm right with you there, Micah. I'm right there with you. He said, yeah, I'm from there, but yeah, blank, blank. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, I'm right there with him. So yeah, and so right now, if I had to pick what team is like the dominant team in the NFC right now, I would have to go with the Eagles, begrudgingly. Against, it's nails on the chalkboard. You pulling me under the bed, and my nails are going into the thing. And yeah, that's I'm saying it at gunpoint. I don't want to say that, but I gotta say it. But yeah, when you talk about the completeness of teams, you talk about offense and defense playing together. They've not been relative. They've been relatively, aside from here or there, injury free. You take a team like Detroit, who I would have said last week, but boy, they got hit by the injury bug last week. Good gosh, they got hit. It was sort of like that Steelers Browns game when you're looking at it in the first quarter, and it's like first and second quarter, it's like, oh man, that's a good game. In the third and fourth quarter, you look at, is that the same game? You
yeah,
know, the Lions came out with one part of the season, the part of the game, and they're like, okay, and then like you got 4 or 5 injuries, like that, and like they've turned you into another team. So right now, I would put the Eagles as the best team in the NFC right now because I think record wise they're right there, and I think how they're playing right now that would have to pick them, and they're playing a Commanders team that they won I don't know, a tight game that they probably should have won by a little more against the Saints. It really came down to a missed 2-point conversion late in the game on an untimed down or something to that degree. And it took that to get by the Saints, who was playing Travis Hayner. Come on, Commanders. I do think the Commanders are a good team. I just think that as the season has gone on, people get film on you. They start studying you. They start figuring you out. You do have a rookie quarterback, although talented he might be. I just think the Eagles are just better. But what always is always a component of the Eagles and Commanders. The games are always close. I don't care if the Eagles are 11-6 as they were last year, and the Commanders are like, what were they, 4-13? Both of them games was close. So I look for it to be a close game amongst the division rivals. But I think the Eagles flex their muscles and they win that game because I just think they're just clearly the better team. Let me check out the injury report while you're cooking.
yeah. I was checking it out. The trendy thing to do for me would kind of just sway towards the home team and the momentum. But I'm in this one. I'm gonna still go with the
Yeah.
Eagles. I like MVP Barkley got a ring to it. Um, I like everything that the Eagles got going on. Uh, despite your disdain for them, they're a team. They're a team. I like them. I like the Eagles. I like what they got going on, man. So um, it's a division game. I would like to. I guess I'll say it like this: now that Marshawn Lattimore is back, now that it seems like Washington's been able to find themselves again a little bit, this will be a true test to see, you know, who are they going to be in a playoff setting. I think this is going to feel like a playoff atmosphere type of game, division game, and I say Washington gets overwhelmed, man. MVP Barkley's in town, and I just think they're going to overwhelm them. They're going to muscle them in the trenches on both sides, and Jaden Daniels will slip out the back door a couple times. He's that talented. He's going to do stuff like that. But I think the Eagles can match any punch that Washington can throw at them, and that's kind of the recipe, for an Eagles win. They can adjust and fight any style that you know Washington wants to send out there. So um, Zach Ertz is also questionable. This would be like a Zach Ertz type of game, playing his former team, but he may not play. But he's also a big part of the offense, so not having him would definitely matter. Um,
Here's here's something interesting I
Eagles,
saw. I'm looking at the injury report right now. They got AJ Brown as being questionable, or he was limited in practice during Thursdays and Fridays practices. He didn't clear concussion protocols, despite being a full practice participant on Friday. That's interesting to me. Um, you know how to,
I read something earlier that said he was going
yeah.
to go,
I
so
mean, I know
we'll
the
see.
league kind of real touchy about that concussion thing. You got a concussion, you didn't clear. Yeah, you ain't playing, bro. And that's an interesting thing to me. So we'll be definitely monitoring that, because that definitely makes a difference. Because AJ Brown he's a difference maker on that outside. You can't just replace an AJ Brown with next dude up. Well, yeah, man, go sack it up, dude. And no, AJ Brown is a big, strong, physical presence on the outside, and that makes a difference. They play different when AJ don't play. Uh, they definitely play
Yeah,
different. So we definitely keep that monitored. I'm still picking the Eagles to win that. So we'll kind of see how that goes, whatever. Uh, but that's just some interesting info to find out there as we're looking at those things, whatever. So, all right, Philly's favored by 3.5. That's about right. That's about right where I would hit it. Uh, and so, all right. So let's go. Let's go on to our next game. This next game is yeah. I'm not spending a lot of time. You got the New York Giants traveling down to Mercedes Benz Dome to face the Falcons. Falcons by 9. Michael Penix is probably playing because they have benched Kirk Cousins.
no, he is. He's definitely playing. He's
So
starting
that's going
against.
to make it interesting. You know, I still think the Giants.
Uh,
Give me your thing. You said, man. Hey, give me your thing, man. Give me your thing. You said it in our pregame. Go, give it to me, man. Give it to me.
oh yeah, well yeah. For all the parlayers out there, look, easiest little combination you can put together is to bet against the Raiders and the Giants collectively. So there's your parlay, man. I don't think either one of those teams are winning another game. So,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, you know, put something together, man. Try to get some money. But I'm actually really interested in this game, not for any reason that has something to do with the Giants. It's all Falcons, but I personally think Michael Penix is an explosive playmaker, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him in this offense. I think the ceiling, the potential of the ceiling could be that he looks so good, man, in these next couple of weeks. He never relinquishes that job back. So to seeing if he can bring the best out of that offense, because I think they got so much young talent that they probably should be like this explosive offense is able to rack up points and do it with the best of them. And they're not that, but they should be. And I think he gives them that potential with that live arm and the athleticism he has. to roll out of the pocket and make plays. So for me, man, I'm gonna be tuned in, not because I'm high on the Giants, but because I really want to see what he looks like, especially with his debut being at home and against a team that's not really playing for much right now, other than positioning for Shadur Sanders. So um, I'm gonna be looking
Whoa, the
forward.
Giants?
Sure, yeah. I mean
He
that's
ain't playing New York. Okay, go ahead, man. Yeah, I'm sure.
yeah. Topic for another day. Could get
Yeah, of
spicy.
course, of
Uh,
course.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to Penix's debut.
Yeah,
Kind of felt like he in terms of like who could come in and be an instant impact type of quarterback. I personally thought he was the one out of all of them. So his debut happens later in the year than the other guys who have been starters all season. So shout out to him, man, for getting the opportunity. His name got called and looking to see what he a good show tomorrow. And I think they're gonna fall in love with Penix, man. So um, you know, he connect on a couple bombs to Drake London, and he roll out and get Kyle Pitts involved and open up, some of those runways for Bijan, and all of a sudden, yeah, things are looking up for Atlanta. So I think that I think that's gonna go real well, that union between him and the Falcons. So I expect it to get started tomorrow. So looking forward to that, man. And that's a team that's still trying to win their division. We'll see if they can get it done, but still something to play for. So yeah, I like it.
okay. And just for just some information, I won't spend too much time on this game, but I did hear where Kirk Cousins gave it his like he had any choice in the matter. But I mean, he like, hey man,
Mhm.
the kid can play, man. I mean, he
Yeah.
knows. A lot of times guys know, yeah, this because they've seen him in practice. Yeah, the guy can play. He can play.
Yeah.
He didn't forget how to play football. Or something he said to that effect. I think that's what the quote was or whatever. So I think that was good to hear that. 'Cause a lot of times the vets be bitter. No, he giving them my, because give you exactly the perspective from my perspective. Because I'm being a Cowboy fan. Tony Romo wasn't exactly complimentary of Dak Prescott getting the job. Yeah.
Well, sometimes you just gotta accept it, man. It's what it is.
And a lot of times, the vets don't, it's different dynamics. I think one time Ben Roethlisberger said, I'm not sure. I'm not trying to train these younger dudes. Ain't my job. It ain't my job to be, to kind of hope, help him navigate through this thing. No, you figure it out yourself, kid. Get your, so, Kurt's kind of like, he got it. He done made his money, and he done had his chance in the limelight. He done had his chance at the thing, what is he, 36, 37, something like that?
Well, I also think,
And, he gets it.
from a PR perspective, you kind of want to keep a clean, reputation, because you may be able to get some buy-in on a team to trade for all
Yeah.
season. You never know. So I think for him and the Falcons, the best thing is just to keep it professional, keep it
Yeah.
positive. Let's just assess where we're at in the off season. But in the meantime, I mean, this guy was they took a big swing on him because they felt like he could be the guy, and it's a good chance he's gonna prove that to be true in these next couple of weeks. So um, Michael Penix era is underway. There's nothing Kirk can do about it. So the best thing to do is just be positive. And um, outside of that, like I said, man, I think Falcons, they got a good one. So I'm looking forward to seeing how
Yeah.
that looks Sunday.
We'll see. All right. Falcons. John said Falcons. We both got the Falcons. We'll see. Nobody's picking the Giants. We already said that. All right. Another game. I'm really not that. It's the Battle of Ohio. We got the Cleveland Browns traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Bengals are favored by 9.5. Browns, they lost. Who did they lose last week? Where they benched the Chiefs, but they hurt Mahomes in the process. But they benched our boy, your boy, and my boy, Jameis Winston for during.
Fun while it lasted.
Good. It was fun while it lasted.
So it was fun while it lasted.
Correct, sir. It was fun while it lasted. The Browns are. I mean, the Bengals are favored by like 9.5. I think they factoring in that they may not
Yeah.
gonna get a lot of offensive push with Finney Smith. You call him Finney Smith. That's a basketball player. Dorian Thompson Robinson. I get it right,
Yeah.
man. DTR, not not DFS.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
Yeah.
but they're expected not to have a whole lot of offensive production. And look, the Bengals might be 5-8 or whatever their record is, but their offense is like nothing to be sneezed at. Joe Burrow's having a MVP ish type season. If they were say 8-5, he would probably get an MVP consideration. His completion percentage, his touchdown to interception ratio, or what have you, is on par with some of his best seasons. And some have say is his best season. It's just the other parts of the team aren't coming together as well as they, and they've had some injuries here or there too, especially on the defense. So, but I think the Bengals win this game because I just think they're just a better team, and I think the Browns, I think they're playing the same. The same thing you could say almost for the Giants and the Raiders. You could almost say for the Browns at this point in the season, because there were some games I thought they really played hard to win. Like when they played the Steelers, they played to win that game. It's a couple of games they played to win that. They just, for one reason or another, weren't able to do it. weren't able to come through with the dub. But I got Cincinnati in this game though. They favored by 9. That might be about right.
Yeah. 6-8, still playing, still trying to fight for that last playoff spot, wild card spot.
They're in the hunt.
It's a game you in the hunt. Game you got to have. Burrow's playing lights out, despite the record. And I think they roll in this one. They do what they got to do. Browns. I think the Browns sort of took into account our last like yeehaw for the year was this Chiefs game. We'll come out here, we'll try to compete and really go for it. And now I just think you spend the next 3 weeks, put your young guy out there, let him get reps, just concede and understand what it is. And I think it's more like that to close out the year. So big Bengals win. Uh, at least cover that point spread you put up. I think they cover that and get it done.
I mean, look forward to Cam Ward or Ted McMillan. Yeah, I get it, man. I get it.
I gotta please.
One of them dudes, man. Yeah. I gotta. You probably gonna be looking at one of them dudes, man, at some point, man. If they try to, figure out what they're gonna do at quarterback too. So, all right, man. Next game is sort of a game too. You got the Cardinals traveling to Charlotte and taking on the Carolina Panthers. Cardinals. Did they win last week? Oh,
Yeah, they did. They beat somebody last week.
somebody last
They did
week.
the
Um,
Cardinals.
Panthers are interesting because they laid an egg against my Cowboys last week, and I eat some egg on that one. I'll take some egg on that one. I missed on that one because I picked the Carolina Panthers. No Diggs being out for the season, with a late season injury. That there's some whole bunch of other stuff going on with that. That they it's more to it than they thought.
Oh yeah.
Talking about bone grafts and stuff. And I was like, oh, this thing bigger than we thought. Okay. But and so I was like, yeah, they're not gonna be in a frame of mind to beat no Carolina Panthers who've beaten some teams, have not beaten any teams, but they've played like the elite teams or better teams, like to within like a possession and had leads or close to leads in those games, whether it be the Eagles, the Chiefs, and or the Buccaneers. So I'm like, yeah, they're gonna smoke the Cowboys, and they lay the egg against the Cowboys. So now they're playing the Arizona Cardinals, Who did Arizona beat? I thought you had that pulled up.
They beat the Pats. They beat the Pats.
The Pats,
Yeah.
Patriots. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know how you get a certain amount of points for just signing your name on the paper? Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, they got 3 points for putting the name on the paper. They beat the Patriots. Okay. Panthers are playing. I don't know if they're like, okay, let's we play proven we can compete against the better teams. Let us move into this the other part of the season. And low key, the Cardinals, I think, are they still got some dibs on the division. I think they're aren't they 6-8 or 7-7? I think they're 7-7.
The Cardinals are 7-7. They're
Yeah.
right there in the mix to win that division, so they have everything to play for. Their last two games are in division with the the Rams and Niners to close out the year. So, yeah, they have to
Right.
have this one, and they will. In my opinion, they will have it.
Yeah.
But I also think this is a much more interesting game than we would normally feel. It's the battle of the two small guys for
Yeah.
one.
They're the same size. Although I think Kyler
Yeah.
Murray's a little thicker than Bryce is, a little thicker than him. They're the same size. They
Yeah.
they both could get on
Yeah.
the kid.
So
They both
you
could get
got
on the kiddie
small
ride
guy.
at the amusement park. So, yeah.
And the thing about now they don't have Leggett tomorrow, which I would have liked to see that, but
Dang! I didn't look at the
they,
injury report. Yeah,
yeah,
that's good insight, TK.
Xavier
Good
Leggett is out.
insight, TK.
But
Good insight.
the
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Panthers, for whatever reason, man, the Panthers are, and I wouldn't say for whatever reason. I mean, it's just pride and just wanting to play hard and compete and not be a doormat, so to speak. It's a room full of men at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, he got a
The
heat.
Panthers are competing, man. So I don't think they're gonna just lay down for the Cardinals. So I would expect some pushback, some scoring. I think that one could get a little interesting.
Yeah.
Um, Chuba Hubbard, despite not a great season from the team, Chuba Hubbard has definitely made his mark as if not for this team in the future, for some other team. There's a guy that could really, a versatile back that could really help a winning situation next year. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
That team has so many things to do to become a serious winning franchise. But hey, just having some fight, going out there and doing their stuff, that's a start. And I think for the past couple weeks, they've shown like we don't want to have a reputation for being the league's doormat. So let's do something about that
Do
at the
something
very
about that.
least.
Correct.
So,
Looking at the injury report, I know you just mentioned Xavier Leggett, one of my favorite players, man. I love me some Xavier Leggett, man.
yeah.
I'm a
Likeable
Xavier
dude.
Leggett
Yeah,
fan, man. I'm sorry,
yeah,
I got
yeah,
love that
yeah,
dude, man. Love that dude.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
he's out, and then there's some interesting dudes that's out for the Cardinals, though, man. Trey Benson is out, and I know they do have James Conner, but Trey Benson
Yeah.
is some dude that's starting to, do some things for them. They left tackle that they just drafted, Paris Johnson. He's out. Uh,
Okay.
and Mac Wilson, their linebacker, is out. That came from Alabama, Roll Tide. I remember him. Matter of fact, I was watching him last night in that game against Georgia the day 2nd and 26. I watched that last night, man, before I went to bed. And Mac Wilson made some plays in that game. So yeah, he's out, and their kicker is out. So they got some dudes that's out, man. So that's gonna make the game interesting. Like you said, Xavier Leggett's out for the Panthers. Davion Clowney is and Ashawn Robinson. That's a guy who I like on the D line. And they are all questionable. So it's a lot of attrition on both teams. As you get later in the year, you start to see that. But I guess I got the Cardinals because it's like the Jets and the Rams, and the Rams having bigger fish to fry. I think the Cardinals got bigger fish to fry as well. They ain't got time to be fooling
Definitely,
around playing patty cake with
definitely.
the Cardinals. I mean, with the Panthers, and
Yeah.
they got other things that they're trying to do. So yeah, I
Well, it's
got.
definitely a
Go ahead.
no. To your point, it's definitely a look ahead week for the Cardinals and Rams, considering they're both playing teams they should beat,
Right.
and they're gonna play each other, next week in LA. So you know, you kind of want to make sure you finish your breakfast tomorrow if you're both teams. So
Yeah.
um, especially the Rams, even more so because they got a game up. So you don't want to go wet to bed in New York and give the Cardinals their chance, their way in, so to speak, going heading into that game next week. So
Yeah.
which, if I'm looking at this correctly, it's been flexed into Sunday night football or Saturday night football next week. So that's interesting. So they're expecting that game to matter like I am. So that's cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. The Cardinals and the Panthers.
Yeah. But we at that time of the year, man, kind of going to
Oh,
put
I
games
know
in
we in
any
flex
time
state.
that
I just
matter.
didn't see that one, man. That's good insight, TK. Good insight.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's gonna be the Saturday night game.
Yeah, Saturday,
Talking about the
the
night?
28th. Next Saturday.
Okay. 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 All right. So, all right, we both got the Cardinals. The Cardinals are favored by 5.5, which sounds about right. It's gonna be interesting what the weather would be like there because they have to, because Carolina has a tendency to have West, an East Coast team on the, they get weather too. Arizona,
Yeah.
that's our weather gonna be a factor when you got teams like that coming from one place to the other. Always be a factor and stuff. So we'll just keep an eye on that. All right, here's a game that's of some interest to you, but we ain't gonna spend a lot of time on it. We got the Tennessee Titans traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Titans are in full. I guess you can say full tank mode, but then if that's the case, why would you just let Will Levis continue to play? Another team that has made a move in the off week here in the switching quarterbacks. Yeah, they've seen enough of the Will Levis show for the 2025 season, I guess, and they're going with Mason Rudolph. So they're taking on the Colts. And again, the Colts, just like the Cardinals and just like the Rams, got bigger fish to fry because they're really looking at one of those last playoff spots. And they've been a team that's kind of been hard to kind of put your hands on because they've played good in some games and other games you see them, it's like, because they were primed to take Denver out last week because when Jonathan Taylor scored on that like 35-yard touchdown run, I'm like, yeah, that's vintage Jonathan Taylor. And I'm like, Jonathan Taylor didn't drop the ball going into the end zone. I'm like, Jonathan, come on, man, you a vet. You can't do that. Come on. And then they never scored again or never had that because I'm like, they had a chance to go up like, I think it was like 17-3 or 17-6 or something like that. And it's like that changed the whole climate of the game because it like they never really threatened again and uh 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 Bo Nix and and Mims and all those guys. Broncos are a good team, man. And they just kind of took control of that game and they lost that game. That's just let the Colts kind of got the wherewithal to do some things, but somehow don't do it all the time. So that makes them kind of. That being said, I got the Colts winning that game because I think the Titans kind of see the prize at they see Ted McMillan, they see Travis Hunter, they see they see Luther Burton the third, they see I would say they see Ashton Genty. They got running backs. They see some other things. They see Carter from Penn State. They see that, you know, guy that can make a difference on their roster. So I got the Colts winning. And incidentally, the Colts are favored by 3.5. So
Which gives you an indicator for Vegas. They fully expect the Titans to play hard in this game. which I do as well. I don't know if that's a great strategy for the future, but as far as the men in the locker room today, uh, you know, can't really can't always get them to care about what's going to happen tomorrow. Their job is always on the line today, so um, I expect them to go in there and compete, man. The Colts are one of those teams like the Bengals, like the Dolphins, who still feel like they got this outside chance to get one of those wild card spots.
Took a hit
Far
last
fetched.
week though. They took a hit last week though. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Both the Dolphins and Colts really kind of intentionally put the nail in their own coffin, losing those games last week. Especially the Colts, they had that game, like you said, Jonathan Taylor, brain fart. You know,
yeah,
vet man can't really afford to do that as a vet. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, best scenario for them is to win out, go 9-8, and just hope they get some help. Uh, so when that's the scenario, all you can do is handle your part of the equation. So I think they're gonna get a fight from the Titans. I think this is gonna be a really close game, irregardless of records. It's a divisional game.
Right.
Uh, both sides always want to come out on top end. So um, no surprise that they insert Mason Rudolph to finish out the year. And just try to. They're another team that's probably going to be bringing back most of their roster and the coach. They have a coach and he'll be back, and you know everything will kind of be the same, and they'll try to add parts and become a better team next year. So this is kind of one of those teams that's they despite their record 3-11, they still want to kind of fight to keep the morale of the locker room intact for next season. So
Right. Right.
um, I think they're gonna give a good go at it. It'd be best if they, best of both worlds. You do that and you still lose. So
Yeah.
you still fight, but you also fight for the best position for your team in the future as well. So I think that's what will happen, and that's kind of the best scenario if you're a player for the Titans or a fan of the Titans or front office. Everybody kind of wins in that scenario. So um, I'm still not all the way sold on A Rich. I like him. I like him. I'm a fan of young men like him. Learning the quarterback position, being exceptional athletes, and learning how to be great passers and thinkers. So
Yeah.
in that respect, I always want the best for guys like him in that position. But he still has a way to go in his development. So is there a chance the Titans could sneak a win here? Absolutely. I'm not gonna pick it. I also personally don't want it. So there's that.
Of course not. Of course not. But here's something, man. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I'm sort of at odds because it's sort of the thing that's going on with my team is that to me there's a way, if you want to say you want to say it's tanking, whatever it is. I know there's a way that is done that is and that makes it beneficial to the organizations that do it, and then there's a way that you do it that I would think sets bad precedents. And I think you got to
Mhm.
really be real careful about how you approach that sort of thing because because we talked about it in basketball a lot because everybody knows I like the Philadelphia 76ers. Well, through the 2014 through the 2016 season, they were all about let's lose as many games as we can play because as many young guys you got out there, they're going to play. But what young guys are going to do? Take bad shots and turn the ball over. Okay. And so what you end up doing is that you don't want to set bad habits because it's hard to hit that switch. Okay, we're ready to play now. No, but I'm used to taking bad shots, coming up with 15 shot seconds on the shot clock, just throwing up a fadeaway three with three guys on me. Same thing in the NFL. If you got to still. There's a way to do that where we're trying to win, but we're not trying to win. If y'all understand what I'm saying, where you making mistakes because you're not good enough to do as well, and you're younger. But at the same time, you're not allowing guys to do silly and stupid things that lose you ball games when they really matter. So
Well, to
it's
tie it
always
in,
you got to do with that, you know.
I think that's the thing here. Is you have a situation where the rest of the team kind of is just over. Will Levis has been a roller coaster, so the rest of the team is ready to get off the ride. And as a coach and front office, you just got to recognize that, and you know, you don't want to lose the collective respect of the team
Correct.
by not making a move that should be made, and we all can see it. So, whether or not he's back next year and you give him a chance next year, right now he's too much of a roller coaster, so you got to do what you got to do. So I understand it.
You got guys missing blocks that they're supposed to make. You got guys dropping passes, running the wrong routes, not knowing the offense, not knowing the hot routes. And it's like, it's okay, kid. We'll get them next time. That you want to. Those things are going to happen, but you got to make sure that the culture in your locker room is such that. That's why I'm not as high on the Cowboys tanking, because I'm not sold on our culture. We got a lot of things that make it where you need to pay attention to detail here. Even if you're losing, so I don't know that we teach that in that locker room. I just don't. I just tell the truth. But some of these other places, yeah, I mean, hey man, I think the Titans got a pretty tight locker room. I think some of these other teams that are doing that, they'll do it right. So we'll see what happens. I got the Titans losing that one in their thing in their quest, and they're gonna get a good player. I test when this draft comes around in about 4 months or so. So, all right, let's move on. Oh yeah. Okay, here's one. This is gonna be an interesting game. Now, on paper, this looks like a slam dunk game, but there's some intervening factors here that might make this game a little more than you think. You got the Detroit Lions traveling to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears. That's an interdivision rivalry. Fan bases that don't like each other. And it relates to all sports, because the Bulls and the Pistons have always battled. The White Sox and the Tigers have always battled. Those are just two cities. They always at each other. So now you got the Lions, who really, you asked me a week ago, man, Lions best team in the NFL. But they got, so one of the factors I think is going on with this team now is you got injuries, man. They had, I thought was like, ooh, that can't happen. You had David Montgomery go down with an MCL. Well, I'm like, whoa. But now I'm hearing them saying he may be back, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I was reading it. I was reading it actually earlier when you brought them up. I was reading the article here while we've been live, and so he does have an MCL injury, but he is opting against
Surgery.
So he probably. I mean, you look at where they're at right now based on the schedule. They likely end up the 1 seed. So that means they get an extra week. So you likely wouldn't need him for the next 4 weeks. So in a way, I guess in their mind, you give them a month, you figure out
that knee.
the best way would have rested, but also the best way to, we're gonna have to heavily wrap it and protect it because it's still an MCL injury at the end of the day. But he feels like he can go on it, and we just got to do our best planning wise to protect it and let him play. So I would assume that's what they'll be doing over the next month, and just try to hold the fort. And they, fortunately for them, they did their work early all season. So right now they're in a positions, to say, hey, win out, get that 1 seed, give them that extra week of rest, and then let's see what our actual playoff matchup is, and let's strategize the best way to use him in a limited way. There's going to be people. I'm sure there are people who feel a different way and feel like he might be risking his totality of his career. But there's also something to say about give and take between players and the organization. One thing that organization is doing right now, and you're seeing it pay dividends for the players. Two players that got hurt last week, David Montgomery and Akeem McNeil.
McNeil. Ooh, that's a big one. Big one, man.
Yeah, those are two guys that they locked up.
Now, he has an ACL. That's no getting around that one. That's
Yeah, he's done. But
yeah.
Both guys secured extensions in season with the team. So that's also an element of team camaraderie when you see a franchise saying, let's take care of our players early because you never know. And then the never know comes, and those guys have secured their money. You rehab them, so it's great for team morale. They're building a real culture in Detroit, from top to bottom. So the injuries, as far as on the field this year, I mean, they matter. To your point, losing Akeem McNeil when you've already lost Aiden Hutchinson,
right.
Those are death blows to their four. And David Montgomery.
They lost a linebacker too. The kid they got is his name Davidson? What's his name?
Sure.
They got him from the Saints. I can't. They lost him too. They lost about 3 dudes in that Bill. That Bills game hurt them in more ways than them losing the game. I'm like, damn, going down. And that kind of changes the trajectory of them actually in a certain kind of way in terms of what we're talking about this season. Because and I think some of that played into Dan Campbell deciding to take the gamble he took. Now, I didn't agree with it, but I kind of understood what he was looking at from his vantage point. He's looking at it like, man, my defense is like 60% of what it was. Josh Allen's hard to stop fully loaded. We might not be able to stop them. Let's see if we can get this ball back, even though the chances you getting an onside kick back in today's climate is like next to nothing, because I got to tell you I'm doing it. And oh, yeah, now I'm going to put my hands team out there. Yeah, that whole thing is you got to be behind by, certain, you got to be behind. You got to be in the fourth quarter. You got to, it's all kind of stipulation to, I got to announce to, I got to put it on a bullhorn that I'm doing it. So that's why I was like, yeah, let's just kick it away. Maybe they throw a pick. Maybe you get a stop. Maybe you get lucky. Maybe Josh gets greedy on one and overthrows one and you get him off the field, maybe, rather than giving them. But because the worst of all things happened, the dude picked it up and ran it almost back for a touchdown. And so, but then you end up losing by 6 points. But the other thing I will say that makes this game interesting, they're playing outdoors in the elements. I know Detroit's a northern American city team, but they play inside at 72 degrees on carpet. This is going to be 15 degrees outside in the elements. That kind of evens the playing field a little bit. You factor in the injuries, things that they got going on. This could be an interesting game, TK. I think it could be interesting.
I don't. I'll say this. I think the injury bug has hit the Lions enough now after that Bills game to where, it gets to a point where you start missing huge contributors to your team.
Correct.
You can't ignore that anymore. And I think the Lions are pretty much there. You lose the last major piece on your defensive line, and you lose your bell cow running back. Those are big blows. So I won't discount that, but it's just the Bears seem like a real lifeless team right now. I would have to see it, but I just imagine the culture that Detroit's building and their approach. I think they really plan on coming out tomorrow and making a statement that we're okay. We'll see when it comes down to it in the major moments, in the biggest moments of our season coming up in the next month and a half. But for now, we okay. I think they want to establish that tomorrow, and I think they will as a unit, as a collective, you know. And I don't think the Bears are together in that way as a team at all. So um, Bears are kind of a team I put after a certain point. I kind of put them on the back burner and say, they fired the coach. Seasons went left. Started off well, went left. I think they're gonna, try to get to the off season, establish culture, and come out swinging next season. And we'll see. Year two for Caleb. It could go very well for him next
with
year.
with a
Good.
new coach and yeah. Let's see how
Yeah,
that works. Right. Hopefully they get them an yeah. Hopefully they get them
yeah.
an offensive coach, which I thought they should have got with Justin Fields. But hey man, that's neither here nor there at this point. Now don't get me wrong. Now maybe I was whatever. I'm not calling for the Bears to win that game. Hey, I'm not seeing that. I'm just saying that there are some factors that could make this game a little more interesting than it would otherwise be. And remember now, their game was close on Thanksgiving. If it was not for a boneheaded, man, they could have easily won that game, or could have gotten back in it or whatever. I don't remember what the situation
Well,
was.
they
So,
could have easily won. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
um,
it was a bonehead play at the end.
yeah.
Malpractice. It really cost the guy his job. Really could.
Oh yeah. That I said it at the time. You were
Yeah,
there. You were here when we said
yeah,
that. You was here at the house when we said,
exactly.
"Oh, that's the kind of thing could get you fired." Well, come 7 or 8 o'clock the next morning, I done seen this enough times. I know certain things will get you fired in this league.
Yeah,
That's one of them.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so many. It's so many. There's so many wins that you can put away and take losses for. That you get a couple of them a season, maybe. You start getting 2, 3 of them in a season, dude. There's something going. That's a pattern. One's after 3 or 4 is friendly fire. you know, we need to make some changes because they've put wins back and took losses in about 3 or 4 games, and a lot of times those are, you know, so yeah. And that was just the cherry on the top. But I got the Lions. Let's move on. I'm spending more time on that game than I wanted to. All right. So next we got was that the last of the 12 noon game? 3:05. We got I got a star by this game. This game is sort of a good game because I think that they're playing for things. I think they're good teams. You got the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are looking at along with the Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Rams. They all got designs on that division at some point because they all going to play each other in a round robin towards the end of the season. As the end of the season approaches itself, excuse me, and you got the Vikings. Really, they fighting to try to see if they can secure the top seed because that's in play for them. They're 12-2. That's in play for them because that loss to the Lions brings them back to the even, and they play each other the last game of the season. We looking straight, we looking eye to eye with them now, right? So they got something to play for now. And of course, the Seahawks are playing for the division. They know they don't have games to lose because they got. I know they got the Rams and I want to say the Rams and they already played the 49ers twice. They probably got the Rams and the Cardinals probably the last 2 games of the season, if I'm not mistaken, because that's the way the league got it set up. But they ain't got no time to be losing here. So that makes this a good game.
Bears, Rams.
Who's that?
Bears, Rams.
Who's Bears and Rams?
The last 2 games of the season.
Seattle plays the Bears next. Yeah, they play them on. Actually, that's on our docket. They play them on next Thursday, I think. Yeah, yeah, day after Christmas. Okay, all right. Look at the injury report. You can cook. I'm gonna check the injury report.
I got Minnesota in this one for sure. To your point, that was the point I was going to make. Minnesota a season opportunity now, not only with Detroit losing, but losing core contributors to their team. And with the game still on the schedule between the two, I just think Minnesota's going to be too motivated to get that one spot. The one spot is so important now because obviously we know that's the only team that gets a bye. So buying when
Right.
you're in position to buy for that number one spot is so important. I don't think they're going to hiccup this opportunity, at least not this week. So I know Seattle's pseudo motivated as well, but even in losing this game because they had done their work, they're still technically in it with the Rams, and they play the Rams on the last week of the season. So I think Seattle will get the win next week against the Bears on a short week, but for this one, I think Minnesota is going to take it. They just got too much of an opportunity to seize by winning this game. So not to mention, I picked Seattle last week. I wanted to see how they look. With me sort of lasering in on it with my pick. Um, some mixed bag of returns. I think a lot of the struggles that Gino found himself in that game is going to find himself in this week as well with that Vikings defense. So um, I'm going Minnesota.
Okay. I think it's worth mentioning. There's not a whole lot of significant injuries. As I was looking at the injury report, now I did see Seattle safety Kayvon Wallace, I think is his name. That's a guy I know is real pertinent in their defensive scheme. So he's out. That's kind of interesting. And I think it bears mentioning that although they practiced and are secured to play, Geno Smith took a nasty hit on his knees last week in the game against Green Bay. But he's cleared to play along with also Kenneth Walker III, who didn't play. I think the week before. Did he get in any playing time last week? I have to look and see. But I know he's had some injuries, and Charbonnet came in and played well for him. They got a nice running back um, room, Seattle. I'd love to have that running back room. I got running back room envy with them with Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker Jr., and then they got what's the kid from Georgia? Um, um, his name is right there on the tip of my tongue. It'll come to me in a second. But I got the Vikings because I just think that the Vikings are starting to put together some things. I think one of their offensive linemen dinged himself up last week. I know they got the kid Robinson from Jacksonville a few weeks back when Darisaw went down, and I think the guy on the other side got dinged up last week, but they was able to still win the game and play well. I got the Vikings because, like I said, they're Addison is starting to become that secondary target to Justin Jefferson that, yeah, Justin Jefferson's going to get all of this coverage. Yeah, but you got to be competent enough to understand that you're getting single coverage and getting, and be able to take advantage of that. And you're starting to see that Jordan Addison is starting to do that now. And I think last week's the first time I think there's two receivers had a buck 30 in receiving yards. You know, Minnesota's playing well right now, man. You be wise to kind of not. Oh, that's just Minnesota. They're gonna win a bunch of regular season games, and then they'll wet the bed in the playoffs. Okay, you keep thinking that. I got the Vikings, man, and the Vikings got some big picture things they looking at, man. And with Brian, uh, what's his last name? The defensive coordinator, uh,
Brian Flores.
Flores. Man, he got the defense playing at a premium level right now, man. So I got
Mhm.
the Vikings, man, and watch out for the Vikings, man. I would not be upset or surprised if they get that top seed or find themselves in that vernacular where they're in the playing for that top seed because they're playing that well right now. Okay, we both got the Vikings, and then let's see here. Not paying a whole lot as much time to this one. You got the Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. Bills by 20. I don't see the Patriots putting up much of a struggle in that game. You know,
Bills by a million,
yeah,
man.
a million, and I say a million and one, a million plus a million, Bills by infinity, infinity plus
Mhm.
infinity, whatever.
Yeah,
That's why many of the Bills are gonna win by. Yeah, so, all right, let's move on here. You got here's one of them games, man. I got a deuce. Yeah, I got a deuce. I got a deuce of clubs. I got a deuce of diamonds. You got the Jaguars traveling to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. I think they're both 3-10.
3-11.
Oh, I think the Raiders are 2-12.
Oh yeah, the Raiders are 2-12. Excuse me. Yes, they have
I
to be
think the
technically
Jaguars are
correct.
three
The,
and ten,
the
maybe.
Jags are 3-11.
Three. Yeah, because they won last week. That's right. They won last week, didn't they? No, they lost. They beat you
Yeah,
guys.
they lost.
They beat you guys, but they lost to the
They
Jets. That's
lost
right.
to the
That's
Jets. Yeah.
right. Okay.
Well, yeah, that was yeah. They're 2-12. Vegas is, and the Giants are 2-12. So
Okay. I got the Jags.
yeah,
Um,
I've stated why. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah. I got the Jags. Not gonna.
it'll definitely be some. To your point, I think it'll be a little bit of you take the win, no, you take the win. You know,
No, you go. No,
be
you go. No, you go. No, you go.
yeah, a little tug of war, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um, I think the Raiders are their need for the quarterback position means you got to be at the top of the draft positioning. Whereas
Right.
if you the Jags, you already sit at that particular spot. So
At least for the next three,
um,
4 years, you are because the money says so. So yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. All righty. So we both got the Jags on that one. Like I said, they both rolling deuce hands. We both rolling with handful of deuces in a poker
yeah,
hand. I got
yeah,
deuces.
yeah,
I got deuces. Well, I
yeah.
lost $1,000. I lost 15,000. Okay, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Comparing loser takes here. All right. This one I got a star by simple fact. Both teams are desperate if they got any shot of making the playoffs. And I think they both got good personnel. I just think they both had some unfortunate things that happened to them this season that made it where their record is what their record is. I think if you wipe the season straight out and started over, these teams and you just took away all the things that happened, these teams would be some of the teams you would think would be playing for significant playoff seeding. But the season went how it went, and
Mhm.
they both find themselves, possibly with draft picks rather than, you got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to Miami to take on the Miami Dolphins. They're both 6-8. The Dolphins are favored by 1. You got Mike McDaniel playing against his old team, Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers, have had the injury bug all season. We know Christian McCaffrey has
Mhm.
been in and out of the lineup. I think he's back out again.
Yeah,
Debo's been in and out. I think he might be back in. Um, Not sure about Trent Williams. I know he missed
out.
last week.
He's
Uh,
out.
Shit, let me. I'm up here guessing, and I got the injury report right here at my fingertips, man. Why am I choosing the struggle? Yeah, Isaac Garendo is out. Trent Williams is out. Nick Bosa is questionable with a hip oblique. That's pay attention to that. Dre Greenlaw is questionable with an Achilles. He's going to be always a questionable with that because he had an Achilles tear last season, so he's just coming back. I think last week was his first game back. I think when they played the Rams, was it not? I think that was his first game
Mhm.
back.
Mhm.
And of course, the if you're looking at the Dolphins, let's see. Blake Ferguson, and we know about what's the kid's name, the wide receiver that went out that because I think his name is Dubose, Greg Dubose. Waddle is doubtful. That's significant right there. Teron Armstead, who's kind of been in and out, and you got Tyreek Hill with wrist and rest. Bradley Chubb was questionable. There's a lot of good players on their injury list, man. A lot of good players on the Dolphins list here. Um, and I think it would be malpractice to not mention some of the other things because we was talking about the 49ers. 49ers are probably going to dismiss, or if they've not done it already, dismiss Devondre Campbell. Um, there was some stuff. There were some things going on with him not wanting to go in games. That's been a thing lately with guys not wanting to go in games, whether it be Deontay Johnson or whether it be Devondre Campbell. Whether you thought, hey man, you should have put me in the game when the game was a certain thing. Now you're gonna throw me in there in garbage time or throw me in there when the whatever or something like that. So it's become vogue to say, no, I ain't going in the game. Get somebody else. So that's a thing that they're dealing with over there too. So that's just interesting thing. So I don't know how this game is gonna go, man, because both teams are dealing with some things, man. Um, I don't know, man. I'm gonna let you cook on this one. Maybe give me some food to think on this one.
No, no, I don't have much to cook on this one. Both teams are 6-8. Both teams are likely out of the race. So, yeah, to your point, when the schedule makers made this, you kind of was
Yeah,
hoping under different circumstances because this is a really fun game if both teams are healthy and in the playoff hunt. So, but it's not that way. And 49ers are missing a lot of dudes. I'm gonna just, I mean, I'm gonna go Dolphins. They're at
okay.
home, and I guess they may feel like they have a better outside chance than the Niners do due to the injury report for the Niners. So, um, yeah, man, this season for the Niners has just been it's been a down one, man.
Yeah. Um,
I don't see that changing tomorrow. So also though, I also don't think the Dolphins are going to run away and hide by any means. I just think they'll ultimately figure out how to win the game in the end. As long as they can finish it with more healthy players than the Niners, I think it's like a field goal game to me.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I will say this, man. I noticed that we saw Isaac Garindo, the running back they got from Louisville, that they got with our fourth round pick. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry. Um, is out, and maybe we'll see Israel Abanaconda because that's a guy people have been looking. He's on the Jets practice squad, and of course they poached him from there, and I think he's on the 49ers now. And maybe he gets elevated to the active roster and whatnot. And like I said, whatever going on with Christian McCaffrey, you always want to have a guy backing him up. Dude's not going to take 30 carries. He's going to have some dude backing him up. And with Garendo not being there and then picking up a Banner, that's a guy I saw in the preseason that I thought a lot of, and I thought, man, the Jets got Braylon Allen and Brees Hall. They really don't need that guy, and shoot, we could use him in Dallas and go get that guy off their practice squad. Go get that guy, and the 49ers went and got him. So we're gonna see what he does with them if he gets any snaps. That I look at things like that when it games like this or whatever. Um, I guess I'll go Dolphins because they're playing at home. Um, I think they tend to play a certain way at home. Um, I don't know if what that's going to matter to in this game, but whatever. I think this game could go either way. That's why it's a 1 point spread for the. It's 49ers actually favored by a point, but I'm gonna actually go Dolphins. But whatever. We'll see. All right, man. Sunday night game. I ain't gonna spend a lot of time on it, but it's the Cowboys. It's the Buccaneers traveling to Dallas to play the Cowboys. Actually, the Buccaneers are playing for something because they're trying to. I think that division is theirs if they want it. I don't think they got to do. I don't think they got to pull no sleight of hand or nothing to win that division. I think that division is going to be theirs by attrition because I think I know the Falcons are not playing anybody but the Giants and let's see, they're playing the Giants and they played the Raiders last week and I'm trying to think who they finished. They'll probably play Carolina the week after that. So it's like, they're probably going to be right there too. So the Cowboys just playing to, stay relevant, just to stay whatever, and, I'm pulling for them, and, I'm hoping they win. I just don't know if they will. I'm gonna take them though, because I got some flack for picking against them last week, and they won. Saying, "Nasty, that's what you get. You should." Okay, all right, man. All right, I'm gonna take them, but conventional wisdom will tell you the Buccaneers will win because they got some dudes out, man. Because I think Tristan Wilkes might be out. I think um, Cade Otton is out. I think Antoine Winfield is out. They got some significant dudes that's not playing tomorrow. Um, so that will make it kind of almost like an even game, because there's not really any on our injury list other than Jalen Brooks, who's a throw-in wide receiver or whatever. I'm gonna take the Cowboys because I'm gonna be in a homer here, but the Buccaneers will probably win the game.
Bucks blowout.
Oh, you think blowout?
Yeah.
Okay. Cowboys defense been pretty good in the last like 6-7 weeks. I don't know about blowout. I don't think they're gonna be able to score enough points to win. The offense is like, can we get 20? I just don't think they can hold the Bucks to 20. So I just don't think they're gonna be able to hold the Bucks to 20. They may give up 26 and they score 18. That's where I think they're at. I think they're good enough defensively they can stop some teams, but they're not good enough offensively to take advantage of it. With good play and guys that can make. They don't have a lot of difference makers on offense. That's the point. So
where's this game being played?
Let you cook.
No. I'm just asking. Where's this game?
Oh, it's in Dallas.
Blowout.
Okay. All right. We splitting on that one. I ain't gonna do a bail on that one because I'm gonna take my Cowboys on that one. Bucks are favored by 4.5. Okay, Monday night, we got the Saints and the Packers. I ain't got a whole lot on that one. Packers by 14.5. Saints. I don't know if I guess I can find out if Derek Carr's gonna play or not. I know he didn't play last week, and Travis Hayner, I think that's his name, played in his stead. I think the Packers are just good enough to beat them regardless. They're playing in Green Bay in the cold on the frozen tundra. Here we go. It's not an injury. The injury report I have don't have anything. Everything's TBA. So I'm just gonna go with it as what I know from what I've seen. And the Saints are not a good football team, and the Packers are a pretty doggone good football team. So I'm going with the Packers.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
One team is good, the other.
Yeah, one team good. When all else fails, take the good team. That's another one of my edges. When all else fails, if you sitting on that proverbial fence, take the best team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Captain Obvious moment there, man. Captain Obvious moment. Okay. All right. So we got some extra games here on Christmas Day. The NFL thought, let's get into this Christmas thing. Let's take this present away from the NBA. The NBA got one present under the tree, and you're gonna take that from them. Okay. And so they featured 2 Christmas Day games. Both of them are on Netflix. Okay. And we talked about it in our pregame video. Not a video, a pregame talk, to get pranked up for the video. In that the Chiefs going to be playing like 3 games of, they played Sunday, they played today, and then they're going to play Wednesday. Okay. And so they'll be playing like 3 games and like 9-10 games or days or something like that, which is crazy. And you got a quarterback with a high ankle sprain, all this kind of stuff. So, and I was like, well, yeah, but you got the marquee player in the NFL. You got sack it up, son. Sack up. Because the league is going to want to put you on Front Street as many times as they can get you on Front Street in prime time opportunities. They're going to try to do that because you are the Kansas City Chiefs and you are Patrick Mahomes. You are our bell cow. You're what we're hitching our wagon to. You're going to be on TV as often as we can put you on there. So sack it up, son. Rub some dirt on it. So they're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers, in my opinion, is going to be coming off of going to be a little salty, coming off of a loss on today, which the game just kicked off. I'm looking at it right now. It's no score, so I'm not spoiling it for nobody. It's no score. I'm not going to tell you what's going on. No way. They're going to be a little salty, so they're going to probably want some get back. And I think that it's tough to play in Pittsburgh. It's one of the tougher places to play. Hopefully they'll have. I know they're not going to have him back for today's game, but maybe they have George Pickens back for that game because I think that'll make a difference. Now they don't have George Pickens. I'm going Chiefs because I think they got to have some sort of something to be able to stretch the defense on because the Chiefs' defense is really better than their offense right now. And if you don't have nothing to make the defense like leery of you can go deep or you got a guy that can make plays. Yeah, I like Calvin Austin, but he's not George Pickens, right? I'm gonna take the Steelers, but if Pickens don't play, man, I'm gonna take the Steelers. But if George Pickens don't play, I can't see them winning that game against Kansas City, even with them playing in Pittsburgh and whatnot. Because you are playing against Patrick Mahomes, and you are playing one of the best teams we've seen. Organizations and all this stuff that they've done, dynasty, whatever that we've seen in the past like decade or so, whatever. So. If you ain't got your best foot forward, I don't see how you win. I got the Steelers, but it's a caveat in there. I'm gonna let you cook on that
one. Yeah, well, I said earlier at the start of this,
they're gonna lose one of these.
They were gonna lose one of these, and this is also with me still being in the blind about the result that already happened today. So I got to go with what I said. And what
I gotta make my opinion be right.
I gotta say, I'm gonna assume the Chiefs won today. They may not have, but I'm assuming they won today.
Don't know. Who's to say?
In that vein, I would just say Pittsburgh will, they'll find a way on Wednesday on a short week.
Yeah.
So at least I'll say it cancels out because it's a short week for both teams.
So. Correct. Good point. Right, because they're playing today too. Right. Correct.
So, both teams playing physical matchups and having to play again on Wednesday. That's terrible, by the way, of the NFL. But whatever.
I told you, they took their only present.
Yeah. I'm gonna just either I pick the Steelers or be a hypocrite. So it's hard to pick against the Chiefs, man. But it's in Pittsburgh. I did have Pittsburgh losing today against the Ravens, so that would mean Pittsburgh would really need that win. On Wednesday. Right. Put their best foot forward for it. Just pick Pittsburgh, man. Just do it.
Right. Call me slow, and I'm slow in some.
I would not call you slow. I will not.
No, man. I have my slow moments, man. They're like, oh dang, I didn't know that was what was going on. I just figured out, man, just now that basically this is a 14 round robin, and they just flipping them around today and Christmas. That's basically what they did. It's the same 4 teams. They just flip flopped them.
Yeah.
I was not aware. Like I said, I was like, oh dang, they did do that, and I was like.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna do them dirty with a 3-day turnaround, that's the
right. So you got the Chiefs and the Texans today. You got the Ravens and the Steelers today. Then you flip it around on Christmas, and you got the Chiefs and the Steelers and the Ravens and the Texans. So you flip it around. Flip that thing around, All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just figured that out like that. Yeah. You slow, man. Yeah. I just figured that out. That's what they did,
Yeah.
man.
No.
But so yeah, we both got. So you said the Steelers, right? So we both the same.
Yeah. I'm taking
Okay. Okay. All right, and that's gonna be an interesting game. But I won't stand on this if George Pickens don't play because he's not playing today. I don't know if I mentioned that, and when we talked about that game at the top of the show, but he's not playing today. And that was one of my reasons for picking the Ravens because I think he gives them a different dynamics on offense. I just think he changes the thing offensively for them. He's dynamic, man. Now he gotta keep the theatrics to him to a minimum. Talent, but I can't sleep on his talent though. His talent is there. It's there. That dude can, run routes.
He's
He
beyond
ball's
that.
there and he's there. He's going to get that ball. He's that one of those type of guys. And go ahead, man. I ain't meant to overshadow you there.
No, it's fine, man. He's
definitely a tone setter. Definitely a tone setter. So I'm saying if he don't play on Christmas, I don't see how they Chiefs. I don't see how they beat the Chiefs. But like I said, that's why they play the games. All right, we got the second Christmas Day game. That was at 3:30. That one is at Christmas Day at noon when the best NBA games are gonna be played. Man, y'all wrong for doing that to them. But I'm not bemoaning that. I'm gonna be flip flopping. You ain't gonna get me. You ain't finna get me on that. Shoot. I'm
gonna make a.
Yeah, I'm flip flopping. I'm flip flopping like a. You ain't finna get me locked in on that. I'm flip flopping. Because the game at 3:30, that's the same time the Warriors and the Lakers going to be playing. Yeah, I'm going to be watching that. I'm watching that. So I'm watching that. And I think the earlier game, I think the Sixers and somebody are playing. They're playing, which they don't deserve to be on Christmas. Huh?
Sixers, Celtics.
Yeah, they don't deserve to be on Christmas. I would have much rather them took Giannis in the Bucks, but whatever. No, I know they not.
Yeah, not having the Bucks and Thunder on that slate.
It's malpractice.
It's
malpractice, man.
Quite a choice.
It's malpractice, man. Minnesota on that too? Are they in there?
Minnesota should be playing somebody.
Yeah. See, we getting into our NBA talk now. So we did a whole NBA thing before the show. So yeah, that's why I'm like, shoot, Ant one of the most. Ant one of your dudes. You ain't got him on Christmas, man. You need to stop. If he ain't in the factory, you need to burn down the factory, man. He not on the assembly line.
Yeah.
Playing Dallas.
They fit him in there. Yep, they fit him in there.
Because that's the Western Conference final. So I get that. The Knicks are on too, because I'm sure the Knicks are playing somebody. Gotta have you.
Knicks are playing Wemby.
Huh? Playing Wemby?
That's first game. Yeah.
I get that. So and going back to the NFL, we put my NFL hat back on now. So you got the Texans going to you got the Baltimore Ravens going to Houston to take on the Texans. That's gonna be interesting, man. I'm gonna take Houston on this one. Because I think neither team is going. I don't think no team is going through this thing going 2-0. I think everybody's going to be 1-1. They're going to win one and they're going to lose one. And I hope I didn't foreshadow too much when I said that. So I think the Texans win this one because I think the Baltimore wins today and they'll lose on Christmas. And so I don't think nobody goes 2-0 in this thing in this round robin. So I think everybody go 1-1. Okay. So I'm gonna take the Texans to win a close game. That's gonna be inside on the turf. It's gonna be a lot of Lamar on some turf. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be. I hope your defensive ends ate their Wheaties. Keep. Yeah, I hope they ate their Wheaties. Um, I got the Texans, but I ain't real solid on that. I usually don't pick against Lamar because Lamar got a thing. He usually has trouble against the Steelers, but he whooping everybody else. He whooping everybody else.
Uh, I fully expect him to be whooping on the Texans Wednesday. Um, no, granted, it's because it's a short
Right.
turnaround, maybe not whooping, but yeah, I've definitely got the
You got the
Ravens.
Ravens?
Yeah,
Okay.
so
I'm taking the Texans. If for no other reason, like I said, I just don't think nobody's going through this thing unscathed. I think they both went lose. Somebody's winning, somebody's losing. I just don't think you. I could be wrong. I just think it's just too much. Especially if you playing high level competition. You playing because it's not like you playing a good team and you playing a scrub. You playing a contender and then you're playing a contender like 4 days later. You know. Yeah.
I think the Ravens just put themselves in a spot where they need
Yeah.
these games
Most
because they
definitely.
really got a chance to go 2-0 here in the next 5 days and wrap up their division. So I think they're gonna smell that blood in the water and get it done. So
Yeah.
for those reasons, I'll give them the
Okay.
nod.
All right. All right. Well, we'll go with that one then. We'll any more on that?
No, man, let's do it. Got a lot of action today. A lot of action for the next week, man. Across the board. So sport for NFL fans, sport fan in general, a lot of good stuff, man.
That's one time to do this. Yeah, so we're fighting on that one. I'm going Texans. He's going Ravens and everything. So we'll see how that goes. So let's get on to these other games. So that's the two Christmas Day games. Okay, now you got a game after Christmas because it's Thursday night game. Because of course the NFL couldn't say, "Well, we got Christmas game. We give them a day off on the day after." No, can't do that. Can't. Give them a break. No, ain't give no breaks. Ain't give no breaks.
They
Uh,
definitely not giving
no,
no breaks.
no. So you got it's not a particularly great game either. You got the Seahawks traveling to Soldier Field, take on the Bears. I got the
Seahawks,
Seahawks because they're
man.
fighting for something. I think the Bears are everybody's chicken soup now. When you got some bad things going on, get the Bears on the schedule, and they'll make you feel all better. They'll tuck you in the bed, and they'll make sure that you took your medications and stuff, and they'll tuck you right on in, and you'll feel so much better after playing them. So Seahawks probably because I think what did I have them losing? I had them lose? No, I had them losing to the Vikings. So they'll probably get some chicken soup. They get the stuffy nose, and they get the Bears, and they get that soup, and they get in, and they're gonna feel all better. Even though it said Soldier Field is outside in the elements, the Seahawks are outside. I used to be outside in the elements as well, so it's not gonna be a factor. I got the Seahawks.
Yeah, Hawks, man. There's just nothing else to say about that
All
one.
right. All right, man. That brings us to the end of our NFL pick'ems. I hope y'all pick them as well as us. I mean, the thing has ran a long time. I know we've been on this thing a minute now. It's on 2 hours. I didn't think it was on that long. Got short, but it's like if you want to get any content in them, and we tried to make the short ones, the short games, the short ones, and it's tough. It's tough to do, man. To shorten it. Before we go, any thoughts on? Ohio State, Tennessee, or Clemson, Texas. College football playoff. Any thoughts on any of that?
I got Ohio State and Texas, man.
Okay.
Big
Got
dog.
Ohio State and Texas. Okay. I'm gonna be contrarian. I'm not gonna put up the box on that. I'm gonna go Tennessee and Texas. I think Ohio State get
Okay.
upset. I think Ohio State get upset. It's not that I don't think they're the best team. I think they got the best team money can buy. I'll just say that. Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
just think that sometimes they don't play as though they're the best team, and I think they got a problem at quarterback. I think sometimes
Well, read something today. They may be fixing that in
in this game.
spicy. No,
I mean, you mean going forward?
no.
Yeah,
Calvin may be coming
because
next
I look at the
season.
Ohio State team. I mean, they got to prove that they were able to do what this team did. They're sort of like the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. They used to tell them when I was around. We was talked about this before. They said the only thing that made that team fair, that team got about 4 or 5 Hall of Fame players in the NFL on that team. That was, some of them dudes was second team on that team. Shoot, get Devin Hester on that team. They was barely trying to get on the roster. He's a Hall of Fame freaking returner. Okay, the only thing that made that team fair is that they had Ken Dorsey playing quarterback. So I will say with the Ohio State Buckeyes, the only thing that makes that fair is they got, what's his name, Will Howard playing quarterback. Only thing that makes that fair. They had them a 5-star dual threat quarterback that could run it and throw it and all that kind of stuff. Dude, you couldn't see Ohio State. But because this guy's kind of, he's kind of, Jeremiah Smith and Ibuka out there, man. Some of the best receivers in the NFL. Ibuka's going to be on somebody's first round, but I'll take him in Dallas. Sure the heck will. Emeka Ibuka. Remember that name. I like that kid. He can go now. He should have been out the league. But that Neil money good. They got them dudes. And what's the kid's name? Junkins in the backfield. Yeah, they should be smoking. They should be smoking fools. Okay, but I got Tennessee and Texas because I think Clemson is in there by default because they just happen to win whatever. I just think Texas is better than them. But anyway, happy football Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday. Football on all them days, right? Before it's over with, football, NFL gonna have days on every day of the week. You're gonna have maybe an 8-day Sunday, and then you're gonna have days sprinkled out through the week where there's gonna be games. Don't tell me they ain't thought about that. So nobody got no days off, and them other networks that have programming gonna have to. NFL got games on tonight. We can't compete with that. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna have They're gonna have 8 games on Sunday. And 4 or 5 games, with the remaining game, 7, 8 games, 9 games are going to be sprinkled throughout the week. I see it coming, man. I see it.
They definitely, yeah.
I see that coming, man. Yeah. All right, man. Before we go, man, happy holidays to you and yours and your families, and hope you get to see your family, love on your families, and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to be cheesy, but these holidays are special, and hope you treat them with the right amount of respect that you ought to, and just hope everything in your family and yours goes the way it's supposed to, and love on somebody this week, man, and not just this week, but any time. Any parting words, TK, before we put a button on this thing?
Man, enjoy it, man. Everybody, I plan to. Hope y'all do as well. Sports, man. Enjoy the sports while we got
it. That's it, man. Hey, man, check y'all's picks against ours, against the experts that he and I are. That he is. I'm an apprentice. I'm learning from him. That you find what your picks are against ours, and we'll settle them up, man. Chime in, and if you check in the videos late, you see our picks, put your picks against ours and put them in the comments and see how we did. If you think our picks are stupid, put that in there too. That's fine. It don't make me mad, And we'll talk about, we'll settle them up on our next video. Maybe we try to do this thing next Saturday, same time, same bat station, man. We'll see. So from my main man TK, I am Uncle Fred. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of Uncle Fred's Sports Experience. Guarantee you will not be disappointed. God bless. Catch you guys on the next video.